How to avoid costly mistakes when building with SIP panels. Hey, I'm Josh Beasley with Eco Panels of Tennessee, and we'll just talk over 2 or 3 points here. The first one, this really applies to anyone building a custom home that is serving as their own general contractor. Make sure you go and talk to your local codes official, talk to your building inspector. Um, I've done many things in life where I have asked for forgiveness later rather than permission. And that's not something that you want to do with your home and your building official or your codes inspector. So make sure you go to your local codes department, talk to them about the project. In some areas, they're not necessarily really familiar with SIPs. Yes, SIPs are in the building code. We can help provide some education if they have questions and concerns, but just talk through the process with them, let them know what you're doing, not just with your SIP panels, your walls and such, but you may need to find out um, other things going on within your building area. So county to county, state to state, all those are different. So it's really hard for us to advise you on specifically what you need to do. You, if you're serving as your own general contractor, need to go to that building official, get to know them, get to know the requirements, and that's just going to help you overall, not just with your SIP panels, but your overall project. That's going to be a step in the right direction. The next thing, maybe more specific to SIPs, is, and we often say this, that one of the best things about what we do is that it's pre-done, right? We're pre-making wall panels for you. That can also be one of the worst things. But we want to keep that in positive, right? So a lot of communication just needs to take place, specifically around door and window rough openings, okay? We talk about this in other videos too, but for some reason, the manufacturers of a lot of door and windows, a 3-foot wide by 5-foot window doesn't have the same rough opening. In other words, what needs to be framed in the wall cavity for that window to fit in there. They're all a little bit different. They're anywhere from an inch, half inch, quarter inch. They're just all over the place. So it really depends on your window and door manufacturer as to what that rough opening size will be. They're all going to be different. It's not a good idea to tell us, oh, just make it this size and we'll make it work. We're trying to make this easier on you, so you set this wall panel up and you're able to just basically pop that window in, right, without modification. So make sure we have your door and window rough opening schedule. Make sure it's correct. Make sure we've located them correctly on your plans. And if you change your mind and you want a bigger window in an area and you're midway through the project, make sure that gets communicated downstream to everyone involved, especially us, so we can change our panel drawings to accommodate the change in your plans, okay? The next issue or step is to do the same thing basically with your electrical layout. Make sure electricians involved and have them checking over your plans. We're going to need to lay out the electrical because we embed raceways for your electric to go in. We put our boxes in. Remember, we are a polyurethane injected system, so we have to do all that ahead of time. You can't just cut our foam with a hot knife. Our foam does not melt at any temperature. So we are pre-installing your boxes and your electrical raceways throughout our wall panels, and we just need to make sure that we do that correctly as much as possible. There are ways to do modifications on site. It's not that difficult, but if you can avoid that, hey, that's one step and some costs that you don't have to deal with, right? The last thing really is on one of the steps that we're going to take you through as you're doing your design and we're designing your SIP panel plans. Once we get to the end and you're ready to have your panels manufactured, we need to make sure that our drawings are correct. And so we realize that you're not in the building industry probably. If you're the consumer, you're the customer, the homeowner watching this, you're probably not used to sitting down and looking at a set of floor plans every day, especially a set of SIP panel plans, okay? So what What we really want you to do is take the time to understand what you're seeing, ask us questions if you don't understand something, talk with your framer or your general contractor, make sure they're looking at those plans, and your electrician, have him look it over as well. So we're checking dimensions on overall build. We're looking at door and window rough openings. We're looking at where those openings are. We're looking at electrical location. We're just wanting to make one more good check to make sure everything is right on our plans, because we're going to use those to create our shop drawings and to actually build your panels from. We want them to be right. Yes, modifications can be done on site to fix most issues that might come up, but we want to take care of those ahead of time so you don't have the cost of making those modifications. All right. So there's just some little tips on keeping your costs down when working with SIP panels. We would love to give you more information. If you would, just visit our website, give us a call, come see us here in Hermitage Springs, Tennessee, and you can always ask for an assembly manual. We'll shoot you one back by email.